3 World Cups, and now the Argentine peso is the best currency in the fucking planet. We're doing it, guys. Welcome to the channel. Folks, it is super interesting to see these things. How is it that you go from a full-blown economic collapse and even now horrible inflation to within a few months having the best currency in the planet, outperforming gold with the Argentine peso? Are you kidding me? Well, no, it's actually true. Here it says, this is from Bloomberg, Javier Milei fuels wild rally that makes peso #1 in the world. How Argentina inflation fight made the peso the strongest currency in the world. This is, I mean, you can look this up. The Argentine peso has jumped 25% in 3 months against the dollar in one key exchange market. It's a result of President Milei measures to curb inflation and limit demand. However, spending cuts have also led the country into a recession. So it is not all just, oh, it is all awesome. But it kind of is, because it's always been the case that Argentina's biggest problem was its horrible economy. It still is in pretty bad state. But the inflation in Argentina has always been linked to emission, just printing too much damn money. Argentina's new president, Javier Milei, which is a colorful character with a bunch of things that we may like or we may not like so much. But in terms of the economy, one of the things he definitely gets is there's no money, we're not printing anymore, and we're not spending anymore. We're getting rid of all of the departments of equality, of culture, all of it. It all goes. Get rid of half of the government institutions that are just bloating the shit out of everything. Fire, 100,000 public workers, and we don't print any more money. There's no more. The famous quote of Javier Milei is, there's no more money. There's no money. Stop it. Don't ask for it. You won't get it. When you stop printing money, guess what happens? This is kind of like Disney's McDuck, right? The rich uncle that has piles of gold. There was an old cartoon from Disney that showed how when you make a lot of something, it just loses value. If the streets are littered with gold coins, gold is not valuable anymore. What makes a currency valuable is scarcity. That's why inflation is basically you printing too much of something, and that loses value. And the more you print, the more you're stealing from people that actually have to work for that currency instead of just printing it themselves. When you are the one with a printer, you can print a shitload of that currency, pile it up, exchange it for whatever you want. There's no limit to how much you can print. Now, you're stealing from the poor when you do that. Once you understand that evil, perverse mechanic, you see why fiat currencies on themselves are kind of shady in general. That's why survivalists, we like gold and silver, things that are physical, that are not being printed. The only thing that did not outperform the Argentine peso, not the US dollar, not even gold, Bitcoin in the last 3 months. Crazy, right? Well, Bitcoin is something that I've always been quite interested in. I have some videos on it. If you want to buy some Bitcoin and try to get a little bit into all of that, I have always in the link descriptions below, besides having my books, which I strongly recommend, Street Survival Skills and Surviving the Economic Collapse, I also have the link for the Coinbase exchange, which is the biggest exchange in the world. Using the referral, if you buy $100 of Bitcoin, you get, I still think you get $110. Check it out. See if it's something you like to look into. And yeah, use that. It also helps the channel with a $10 kickback if you buy it. But hey, benefiting both sides. That's always nice. It is surprising how Javier Milei, in just a matter of months, a country that is still struggling very much with crippling inflation, still manages to have objectively the best performing currency in the planet, in the fucking planet. From nothing, Javier Milei himself, the president of Argentina, running for the presidency of Argentina, said the Argentine peso is shit. Literally what he said. He said he's not exactly refined in his use of words in English or Spanish. Doesn't matter. He said it was worthless, it's worth nothing, and yet the guy that running for president said that the currency of his own country was shit, manages to get the currency to be the most valuable in the planet. At least, I mean, for now. Now, this may sound very cool, and it is, especially because it really shows this mechanic that we all understand, that is, if you're not printing anymore and you're not spending, yes, it's going to be, getting back on track. At the same time, there is a risk of, if it's valued too much as it is right now, you become less competitive. If your peso argentino is worth more than the US dollar, how can you compete with anyone with that? That's the point in which having your own currency, which at times Milei was toying with the idea, and he was very serious about, just dollarizing the economy. We don't use any Argentine peso anymore. We just use US dollars. Is that wise? No, it's not. No country does that. At least no serious country that you would like to be like does that, because it takes away the control of you printing or not printing money as you see fit, depending on how valuable it is or not. You're just giving that away to the Federal Reserve. That works very nice for the U.S. government and this Federal Reserve and the largest bankers and most powerful people on the planet, having a country, yet another country, that just gives up the idea of any kind of financial sovereignty and renounces that to slavery to the bankers, when really every single serious country, you have your own currency. That's what Argentina should do as well. But hey, it is interesting. Now, if it's too valuable, it kind of hurts. Now, it's very easy to just print a few more. Now, every single Argentine peso you print, or every single US dollar you print, you're stealing from the people that use that currency. That is literally how inflation works. The more you print, the less valuable it is. The more those poor bastards, I mean all of us, have to work for that, while the guy that actually has a printer, he can print without any limit. Even if he can run that currency to the ground, still making money out of that, because there's no limit for him. There is a limit to how much sweat, blood, and tears you can leave on the soil working your ass off. But that's how inflation works. So it has to be a lot of responsibility, and most of all, corruption is the name of the game. If you have a government that with every time, and yes, it should be governments really that have the power to print or not the private bankers that benefit the more they print. But anyway, it should be a matter of the money that you are printing, so as to have a more competitive currency. It should be used in making things better for the economy, for the people, in terms of investing for real, roads, infrastructure, things that people can actually benefit from at a medium and long-term scenario in terms of their own economy, right? Making things better and not just, trickling it away into the different mechanisms as to send more money to the people that have the most in the planet. Guys, interesting that the Argentine peso is the strongest currency of the world. I never thought I'd say any of that, but hey, remember, if you want to learn about all of this and you want to be better prepared, you have the channel with a lot of information, and you definitely have my books available there in the links there below. Take care. See you next time.